We get the same thing in the United States with the illegal immigration. They drove down wages. There's no question about that. And, of course, they've used the public facilities, and that's cost the people of the United States quite a bit of money, especially in states that have large amounts of illegal aliens.
And the bankers love that because we're even in deeper debt to them.
That's right. And now they want to bring them into the system so they can charge them Social Security and taxation and so on and so forth. I mean, in this new bill, it talks about the cost of serving the illegal immigrant community.
And remember, they promised to pull that out, but it's in there, and just incredible. When we come back, I want to get into some info you want to talk about with the Greenies, the Copenhagen fraud, the climate gate in trouble. Then I want to get into where you see gold, silver, the economy going. I want to get into the naked body scanners, a host of issues with our guest, Bob Chapman. We're going to cover it all straight ahead. His website's The International Forecaster. That's theinternationalforecaster.com. Go get a free e-version, electronic version of that. It comes out twice a week. Coming out tomorrow on Saturday, an invaluable tool. And don't forget Infowars.com, now listed as featured news on the Drudge Report. Your phone calls are coming up in the next segment for Bob Chapman. Bob, exciting developments with Lord Monckton and many others filing criminal complaints, lawsuits in the process of being filed. Now the BBC's having to admit maybe climate change is a fraud, being man-made. I mean, we have underestimated just how devastating ClimateGate has been to these enemies.
And I'm very happy about it. We're making a difference, Alex.
You were telling me during the break about some suits getting filed. Fill us in.
Right. John O'Sullivan, legal advocate, who has for several years litigated government corruption cases in both Britain and the United States, is going to be filing, and he's in league with a top fraud lawyer named Joel Hench of Hench and Associates. And the tack that they're taking, and incidentally, there's another fellow here who's involved with Mr. O'Sullivan, who is a former Central Intelligence Agency agent named Kent, K-E-N-T, Clisby. And what they're trying to do is get some of the co-workers at Penn State to substantiate the emails that were discovered between Michael Mann, who is a professor.
But Mann admits he wrote it.
That's true. But they want substantiation. And if they can get substantiation, what will happen is the government will try to recoup, and I think the figure is $23 million that they plunge.
Yeah, they're going after the fraud of these universities getting massive federal and grants off of scamming.
And they want the money back, and they want to get the money back. They share it with the people who said, yeah, he did that, he said that, and, he said the whole thing was a scam, that sort of thing. And that's what they're looking for, and that's the tack they're taking for openers. I don't know about criminal proceedings, but there should be. Unfortunately, very often there isn't. The government's more interested in retrieving money than they are putting people away, because one is good because they get their money back because they made a mistake. On the other hand, if you put people in jail, it costs them $40,000, $50,000 a year, and so they would really rather get the money. And so we haven't heard. This is the beginning of this thing. Sure, it's been going on for a couple of months now, but it's starting to gel. It's just like the problems that we're seeing on Wall Street with Goldman Sachs. I wrote about what Goldman had done in the collateralized debt obligation.
You wrote about it 2 years ago before the collapse, and now it's confirmed. Mainstream media, they engineered it all.
That's right. And we bleated and yelled and screamed and says, why hasn't anybody sued? Now, these are the institutions that bought this bogus paper. And then finally, we're starting to see lawsuits by labor unions, funds, states who have been built.
Police unions.
Yes, and it's going to grow. And now we have in the front page the AIG scam, which was $112.4 billion.
But it was just the holding company for Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan Chase, correct?
I can't say that because I don't know.
But it was divvying up the goodies. Most of the money that went to them was paid out to those guys.
Right, but there was another aspect to it, and that was the insuring of different risks. And AIG ran naked on them. They had no collateral to back up their bet, so to speak. They were the bookmaker taking the bet. And all of the recipients who were involved in doing business with AIG, because of the bankruptcy, they were left out in the cold, $112.4 billion.
And if they're not paid back, which they haven't been, that will destroy confidence in the system.
Exactly. So what the Fed did is they created the money out of thin air, ran it through AIG, and they said, look, you guys keep your mouth shut, because if you open it, we'll destroy you. That's what went on. I wasn't there. I don't know that those are the exact words.
But that's why the White House ordered banks to take the money, so they'd be part of the fraud.
Right. And so now you got a whole bunch of people involved. And I think Timothy Geithner's toast, because he was with the New York Fed at the time, and he was the guy that said, look, you got to keep your mouth shut, because we can't let the American public know that everybody's getting paid off and the taxpayer is paying for it.
Well, that's like when Bank of America said we were told to shut up and take the money. Geithner tried to deny it, and then Bank of America just released the audio.
Isn't that beautiful? What sweet justice.
Well, you got the rats fighting with each other. We'll be right back with Bob Chapman on the other side to get his economic view of what's happening in 2010 and beyond. And your phone calls, stay with us.